Welcome everyone to a brand new edition of the Triple Trio, a weekly look at all things Hong Kong racing and global racing as well, with the best form analyst in Hong Kong and the Hall of Fame jockey in Raymond Shane. Hutch Buster, good to see you.
And you too, Richo. Yeah, what a week that we've just had, and looking forward to this weekend as well, and those special Whirlpool races that we will be highlighting as well, in particular from Flemington. We've got races 7, 8 and 9 from there, including the big one, the Makybe Diva.
That's right, and also racing over in Ireland. We'll tell you all about that a little later on in the program. Golden Boy, terrific start to the Hong Kong season last week.
Was on Sunday. I had a huge day, backed many a winner, but I come back to earth quickly on Wednesday night. Geez, it was a hard night Wednesday night.
Well,
and I lost.
It can be like that, can't it, Happy Valley? It does test your intestinal fortitude. That's why you're really good at it, because you're courageous. You keep fighting. Let's have a look at the week that was.
I'll go in the first with Zach on.
Go. He's a length and a half over Sunny Baby and Circuit 9. Go. Half a length, Sunny Baby, and Purton starts with a win.
This is a good little race this, and quite an exciting prospect. Had one start for one win, Fast Network, and got him on top. I think he'll be a clear-cut favourite.
He will be in front at the 200 for sure, Chevelle Val, and then it's just a matter of whether Fast Network gets over top, which he should. I've got him on top, Fast Network, and I think he should be odds on.
Now as Fast Network has come up to join him, Glorious Expert making ground for Brittany Wong and Metro Warrior there for Miners, but Fast Network, 2 starts, 2 wins and 3 for the day for Purton.
He's stronger, he's a proven weight carrier, but it will be a bit of an arse carrying 135 first up. They're all first up, but he is going well and he'll probably be favourite and should be.
But it's Ka Ying rising, 135 pounds, 20 more than he carried to win the Group 3 first up, and jogs it.
Cans bursting through, Satanta wider, Helene Warrior still in front, he's hanging tough here, that's a big win, Helene Warrior over Samarkand.
Great start when we start with race number 1, and Shane's best bet salutes in the first. I think everyone of the Triple Trio family says, we're off to a great start to the season.
This is going to be a great season. That's what they were thinking. So, no, well done, Shane. Well found, and I think it played pretty straight on the weekend as well.
There was one standout, and it was Ka Ying rising. What a win.
What a performance. Something pretty special there. We're going to probably delve a little bit deeper into just how good that was later in the show, but... terrific effort, and he's put his hand up to be a big chance in December.
Huge show coming up. Mark Newnham's our very special guest, so looking forward to that. Hey, finally we get some votes in for The Idol. If you haven't followed The Idol in the past, this is a beauty. Inside running, of course, global racing as well. Jump and run, all the selections plus best bets as well. But a little reminder for our Triple Trio tour going to Hong Kong in December. Please, you've just got to simply come along.
Everyone's talking about this.
Guess what? There's one spot.
One spot left.
One spot left. One lonely little spot. So scan that code there. 7 days, 6 nights, 6 big nights if you don't mind. And trust me, you are going to have a lot of fun. The Australian Racing Tours team will take you along for the journey. Fan Fave will be there to support you, and we will be there front and centre, and we will roll out Raymond Shane Dye on a couple of occasions.
If you've been before, come again, you'll have more fun, and if you haven't been to Hong Kong and been to International Week, well, you can't miss out on it.
Simple as that. Now, let's get stuck into Sunday racing at Charlton. Let's highlight 3 races to concentrate on, and they're the Class 3 races at the end of the program, Hutch. We'll start with race number 8. Who do you like here?
Yeah, I'm with Packing Bowl, a horse that he hasn't been all that consistent, but when he's been good, he's been very good, and I did like a recent trial, but it's a competitive race. Capital Delight ended last season with a win, track and trip. A Self-Improvement has trialled exceptionally well, another horse that has good fresh form. So those were my main 3 to stick with. But look, Packing Bowl, if he is rated efficiently, I think, Shane, I think he can jump lead. And I love the fact he's drawn gate 2 for Jerry Chow. I think he could take a lot of reeling in this race.
Yeah, well, you got to remember he had knee surgery, Clinton, February, and that's why he hadn't raced. His self-improvement, he trialled very well the other day. These two horses are in the same race, of course, this race. The winner and the second horse.
Yeah, Capital Delight will hope that, look, it's not just a sort of wet, slow track that he got there. He's got a little bit more weight to carry. He goes up about 3.5, 4 kilos or 8 pounds. And self-improvement, Shane was a horse that won fresh last year, so he's a genuine contender in this race. Look, I don't have much between the top three in there, but I just think the map really favours Packing Bowl. I'm hoping the fence is okay early in the season. If he can jump lead, I think he runs a big race. And Super Wing Dragon looks the other genuine chance as well. And a lot of his form, Shane, ties in with the other trio that we've mentioned.
I've actually got Talent's Ambition on top. I think he'll get back and could run over top of them. The only problem, as you said, is the speed map. And there doesn't seem to be a lot of pace in this. And Packing Bowl will get a soft lead, you would think. So you might be right. He might just be too strong and kick. But at the odds, I'll give Talent's Ambition a go from Packing Bowl. And self-improvement. Of course, he trialled very well. Got an awkward gate, but that doesn't matter on the dirt normally.
Good competitive race, Richo.
Talent's Ambition, Mark Newnham is the trainer there. We'll chat to him later on in the program. So that's race number 8, a Class 3. We move over to race number 9. We continue in the same class, but drop back to 1,000.
Yeah, I'm pretty keen to see this horse. It was formerly known as Archo Nacho in Australia, Magic Control. Pre-season trial was fantastic. Now, there's a newcomer who's out of maiden grade from Victoria as well, called Savvy Brilliant. The form around him, I'll talk about it in a moment, but he was with the Freeman camp, 1 for 1, and has trialled well. Carroll Street knows the straight course very well, and I suppose down in this grade is a real interest, has won 3 of 8 in the grade. Now, this is the trial from Magic Control, Shane, and that's Car Ying rising alongside of him. I know.
It's hard to believe, isn't it?
I mean, it's just a great piece of work. Cody Mose picked this horse up. What did you make of it?
Trialled extremely well, and he ran time doing it also. He ran a 57. He's changed stables, and he's definitely improved. I've got him on top, Clint.
Yeah, Flying High is a regular visitor to the Straight 1000. He'll go okay, won't be too far away, like the booking of Lyle Hewitson and Hasten Delight, those two matched up there. They've got a little bit to find on my ratings, but the real interesting runner here is Magic Control. I thought there were genuine excuses at Happy Valley last season. It was a tired track. It didn't look the right race for him, and I think coming to the straight is really interesting. So I've got him on top in this race. But Savvy Brilliant, I can tell you, he beat a horse called Core Concept. He came out, won his next 2. Pure Rain, Charming Deal. The form around his maiden, albeit at Mornington, has worked out very, very well. So he is an interesting runner, and I think he'll give a good account. Make sure you sign up if you haven't. Check the selections for that race, because there's going to be some good value and potentially some of the exotics in this particular contest.
Because the value is the interesting point, because Magic Control, anyone who's watched that trial will be having a bet on Magic Control. It could be overbet. It could be really short, couldn't it?
Well, it could be really short because it was a highly touted import, given that they paid a fair bit of money for him.
Yeah.
And he had premium form as a juvenile,
That's
didn't he,
right.
around all the big horses. So that's the way we see the ninth.
Well, he won as Archo Nacho. He won on Saturday at Flemington a year ago. Of course now in a really good stakes race at Flemington, part of the World Pool. Let's move over to race number 10.
Boys, why can't Stella Express? He should have beat one run. He ran a 55 last season up the straight, and he should have won for sure. He's fresh. He's got gate 14, which is the best gate. He won't be far away.
No.
I know he was a bit disappointing at the end of the season, but he's got the ability. I've got Magic Control on top from Stella Express, and then whatever you want. Savvy Brilliant was very impressive in Australia. I didn't think his trial was as good in Hong Kong, but that might just be acclimatising. But on his Australian run, he could definitely be there, Clint, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely. And he's drawn the right side too. But I want to see Magic Control perform anyway, Rich, as we wrap up this race, because he did look quite exciting, and I want him to take that next step for, to be another one that they puts their hand up, as one of the better sprinters in Hong Kong.
Okay, the third of the Class 3 races is the lucky last. Always, we like to finish in race number 10, and you've got it at $5.60 the field.
This is a very, very open race. It took me a long time to do the form in this race, and this is my early rated price, but there could be some slight moves there. But I'm happy enough for Sunlight Power. He was consistent last season, and his final outing was terrific. This is him in a recent trial as well. I thought he trialled very nicely indeed. Sweet Encounter, I think, might just need it. But Sunlight Power, Shane, good track, wet track, this distance range, he just seems very effective.
Yes, he's going to be very hard to beat. He trialled nice. The only problem with him is he can hang in quite bad at times. Here's the Air, who trialled the other day, had a very easy trial. He didn't win last season, Clint, but he was very, very consistent, placed a lot. So he might be a bit stronger second season, and he's definitely not the worst.
Yeah, he needs to, I'm starting to think he might sleep with the light on a bit, that horse. He needs to step up and deliver. He's been given a lot of chances. I thought the trial was okay. Outside of him, like in that trial, Cody Moe actually mentioned with Pray for Mer that he was a horse to follow from his stable for the season, but he hasn't put up a good number for me. But Lopan Spirit's a horse that can jump, go forward, run well. The Air should be there or thereabouts. Lopan Spirit, Beauty Glory will probably be in the market. Soleil Fighter. There's one horse that I think in the race could be a good price and could be worth backing. Super Love Dragon. I might even shorten him in from that 850 mark in a very competitive race. He's ready. His trial was great. He gets a nice map. He'll be smothered away midfield or just off midfield. And I think he looks very dangerously handicapped where he is. I think he'll be a good value chance in the race.
So 2, 3, 6 and 14. Shane, do you agree or have you got something else?
No, I've more or less got the same. I've got 2 on top from Starmac, who I think will get back and run on. I think it was just all too much for him last season, and this being his second season, he'll be better. Then I've probably got Greenwich with no weight on his back. He trialled very well the other day. 14 suits him. He gets his chance in the Air.
Okay, so Greenwich, horse number 13, worth considering in all of your exotics. Let's a look at 3 races. Our best bets at the end of the program, but let's join our Star Power guest. Our Star Power guest has started the season in incredible form. His name is Mark Newnham, who joins us now. And Mark, congratulations, the perfect start to the season.
Yeah, g'day guys. No, it certainly has been. 2 winners on the first day, sort of set the platform for it, and we backed it up again on Wednesday night.
Yeah, so 10 runners, 3 winners. So we've just launched perfectly now towards a big season. What were the goals when you started this season, mate?
Oh, look, really to get more winners than we had last season. We had 31 last season, but we've got a better team of horses to start the year with and more of them. So I'd be disappointed if we didn't, surpass last season's efforts. And it started on the right note.
Well, it's a good point you bring up, Mark, because you had 31 and realistically, looking at what you had in the stable last year, I think you did an amazing job to get that many winners with some of the stock you had. But looking at what you've got this season, you've got a lot of younger stock coming through. Yeah,
look, we've still got 22 horses there out of the 62 that haven't raced in Hong Kong yet. So they're the type of horses you need that are going to bring you forward, and that's the opportunity to try and find a good horse is the horse that hasn't been exposed yet.
Was it a pleasant surprise with Same to You winning on the opening day?
Yes and no. He was sort of building to that towards the end of last season. He put in a couple of decent performances, but his horse that's always over-raced and drawn badly, so we've had to be really negative on him. But this season, he just started to relax a little more in his work, and Brenton was able to just use him a little bit to get into a better spot. And they didn't go much of a gallop, and he was wound up and ready to win.
My Wish had all the favours as well there on the opening day. Lukey Ferraris does a bit of riding for you, but how high can this horse go? It was quite an impressive victory. They didn't smash the clock or anything, but he controlled it. Was pretty impressive to the eye.
Yeah, he's an improving horse. He's like the 3 races he's had, he's improved each time. Very small horse. So, look, Class 3 might be his ceiling, and he'll certainly do better down in the weights. But he keeps improving, so you never quite know until you really get to the bottom of them.
And a year into, we're just taking a look at your with Scotch Tycoon, I should say, who's done a nice job here. Was it sort of part of the plan with him to have him up and ready to go, considering you're pretty top heavy in that sort of Class 4 ranks?
Yeah, and look, he had a fairly quiet season anyway. We gave him a few runs early in the season. He was able to win, and then he had a epiglottic entrapment surgery, and he came back from that in really good form. He ran placings behind Packing Hermit and the Wanabe, so he finished the season on a good note, and I only gave him a very short break and had him, a couple of trials in and ready to go for the early part of this season. Sometimes you get those races like on Wednesday night, only 8 runners, and when he came up with barrier 1, the plan was to use his speed, control the race, and that's one of Luke's great assets. He's a good barrier jockey, and he's a good jockey in front.
Yeah, 1 year in now, Mark, and you've obviously got used to the new environment, the sort of intricacies of Hong Kong racing. What have you found most challenging?
Oh, probably the entry system, really. You might have a horse that's ready to win, and you either get balloted out or you draw poorly. And from some of the starts, especially at Happy Valley, you draw 12 at the 1200, you can't win, and you can't scratch. So sometimes it feels a wasted run when your horse is in the right sort of form to win. That's really been probably the major challenge for me. The rest is, you're training horses in a slightly different environment, which you just adjust to. But the routine and the 2 meetings a week, I'm really enjoying.
Yeah, the lifestyle aspect for you and your wife. Are you really settling in now and enjoying the lifestyle of Hong Kong? Yeah,
look, it is a nice place to be when you're not feeling stretched every minute of the day. Training in Sydney, you might be going to 4 or 5 race meetings a week and a set of barrier trials, and you're travelling to all those locations. Whereas here in Hong Kong, we only go over to Happy Valley on Wednesday night, and there's usually a couple of nice dinners during the week with owners, and a little bit of time together. So it suits us.
You don't have far to go on Sunday, Mark. You can walk across the road to Sha Tin. You've got 4, just looking at your runners, you've got 4 runners there, and they've all got very good chances, I think. Super Infinity, Crazy Treasure, Mission Voice, and Talent's Ambition. I'm sure Shane will want to come in with his thoughts on a couple, but what were your impressions of your runners this weekend?
Look, Super Infinity, I was a little disappointed in his last run. I thought he presented to win and didn't quite get the job done. Whether that was just seeing out 1400 or not, I suppose we'll find out on Sunday. I've added just the cheap pieces to his gear just to help him focus a little more. But the one important thing I've seen from him in the last few weeks is that he's relaxing a lot better in his work and using himself better. So I think it's more of a maturity thing. When you're bringing those horses into this environment, he's a horse that had his first start here. He's racing horses that have had 30, 40 starts, and that they may not be overly talented, but they're tough. And it's a lot different to starting off in a maiden race in Australia where they're all on a fairly level playing field experience-wise. Of the others, Crazy Treasure's been building to win a race. He likes the all-weather surface. His 2 trials have been good. Mission Voice, he did a good job at the end of last season. 1400 may be a little sharp for him. He was good at the mile when he got control of the race. And Talent's Ambition's a horse I really like. He enjoyed getting on the all-weather for his win over a mile, and he trialled very well against some good class horses leading into this. It's only at 1200, but I've left a little bit of freshness in his legs, and I think he'd be very strong late.
Shane, what do you think of Mark's team this week?
Not much I can say. Mark summed it up perfectly. He knows his horses. He knows the form, as I know he does from when he was with Gay. They've all got good chances, the whole 4 of them. Everyone could win.
And has this communication continued between you two? I know, Mark, when you were heading over there, you lent on Raymond Shane. And now that you're flying, do you still remember him?
Well, I tell you, he did give me a bit of advice at the end of last season, and he said, as a second season trainer, make sure you start strongly. So I've taken his advice.
Yeah, you've done well.
Is that right, Shane?
Yeah, he had them going early. You got to. A lot of overseas trainers, when they come here, the mistake they make is they give all the horses a good break thinking they need it, because that's what they do when they train in New Zealand, Australia or Europe. But you can't do that in Hong Kong. They've got to be ready to go. So you've got to have one lot ready to go early with another lot ready to come on in 2 to 3 months that you can give that break to have a backup. So Mark did that. He had them going. A lot of them had 2 trials, and that's why they're fit, and they get weak races at the start of the season. And at the start of the season, as you know, Clint, in most races, there's not many chances.
Yeah.
So if you've got that horse fit, he gets a good gate. As Scotch Tycoon did on Wednesday night, he gets his chance to win a weak race.
Hey, Mark, one horse that we're just going to actually preview as well that's in your stable that hasn't had a start but it's been purchased out of Australia following a few runs is a horse by the name of Maduri Giant. And I just wanted to show the pedigree that he's got, where there's a lot of gold in the Group 1 gold mine sort of indications there. The Redoutes would line with the Londra, etc. So he's a really interesting runner. He's had a few starts, and analytics saying that we could expect something pretty big from him. What attracted you to him?
Well, he was actually owned already by that client, and he was prepared by Blake Ryan. He's well named. There's plenty of him. He arrived 1,300 pounds.
Wow.
So he's a big animal, but a gentle giant. He's only been here a couple of weeks. He's actually going to do his first bit of 3/4 pace work tomorrow morning. So look, he's probably one that'll be racing around Christmas time or early December. So maybe one for your tour group to follow when they're here.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to catching up, Mark,
I
as well.
look forward to that, Mark. Beautiful segue there. We might get him along to our Saturday extravaganza on the back of that.
It would be silly not to, I think.
Mark, just one quick one before we let you go. Of all the tools that you had as a trainer in Australia, do you have all of them and then some in Hong Kong, or are you missing anything in particular?
No, well, actually, I'm in China this morning, and we've got a set of barrow trials here, and there's everything you could need or want here. We've got the water walkers, uphill gallops, plenty of use of the grass tracks, treadmills. Anything you could want is here. There's really no excuse that you can't prepare your horses well enough.
Oh, fantastic, mate. Great start to the season. We love chatting to you, and we look forward to seeing you in person in December, but more importantly, cheering you on for the next couple of months.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Good on you, Mark Newnham, our Star Power guest. A beauty. We're going to go into HUTCHI'S form files next. HUTCHI'S form files, and can I ask the number 1 rated performance of the weekend? I think I know it.
You think you know what it is, but how good was it? Of course, it was Ka-Ying Rising, and what an unbelievable win this was. Look, Zach was very positive. Were you surprised he was this positive out of the gates, Shane, on the weekend?
I'm surprised when he's not positive out of the gates. He's positive on every horse. You know, that's the way he rides, and that's why he's won so many winners.
Yeah,
He sticks out of the gates, puts them there, and that's it. So no, I wasn't surprised.
So right there at the 800 mark, what were you thinking?
Well, he's getting a good trail on the race, and I was more watching Beauty Waves, and now sort of Zach almost half-carding. And Beauty Waves, I'm thinking Beauty Waves is close enough, and with 20 pounds or thereabouts less than, or 10 kilos less than Ka-Ying, we're in a good spot here.
He had his chance.
And then all of a sudden, Zach just leans on him and he stretches away. Look, this can't be understated what a good performance this was. There was a bit of rain around at this time, but the time was still exceptional, and I don't think the track was really affected by it. They're getting their toe in, but he ran 68.03, Ka-Ying Rising. We'll talk a little bit more about how well that rated. Beauty Waves every chance, and he's going to be a nice little snuff sprinter, but it's all about the winner. And we get a good lead in with some of the other horses that have tied in. Now, in terms of ratings, I've got this as a peak, 89. So Lucky Sweynesse when he won it last year, 78.4. 81.6 for Wellington when he won it, 86 for Skyfield, which was his peak. Now, Lucky Sweynesse did have a higher peak, but this hasn't been weight adjusted either. So if Kar Ying Rising runs up to that performance, coming back to weight for age, he's going to be extremely hard to beat in December, because I can't see any horse eclipsing the mark that he's put up.
And we won't know, when do we start to get some momentum in regards to horses international horses? So, I mean, on that rating, the Hong Kong group, he looks to have their measure. What's going to come in?
Well, you're winning like that with the handicap, Shane. I mean, the usual suspects. We've got Lucky Sweynesse that will be around, but there's a couple of new ones coming through. Mugen's going to Japan.
Yeah, correct.
But realistically, Wonderbar, who beat Kar Ying Rising last year for John Size, he might be another sort of level of those sprinters coming through. But we do need a few to stand up, Shane.
Yeah, they will. There's plenty of time. He can definitely win the international sprint on that. He was extremely good, Clint. There's no risk about that. You've also got Victor, the winner, who will be there. He's probably not as good as them, but he always seems to bob up occasionally when he gets his own way. But come December, you'll find a few more there.
Yeah. That's the other good thing with this guy. He can take a position, I reckon. He can jump. He relaxed so well for Zach there. So exciting times for Hazy as well.
Oh, it's great for Lindsay Park Racing, for David Hayes and everyone involved. They've got themselves a beauty now. Just to keep him going all the way through to December is their challenge.
It's golden 60 for Hong Kong. That's not a whip. That's a wand.
Who was the HUTCHI'S sectional star?
Yeah, there were a couple of interesting ones actually from the weekend. This is just something that I want to try and highlight every week. People like their strong closing sectionals, and we've got a couple from last week. One of them was Sterling Wongchoi, who runs this weekend, top left screen. He was taken back from the gates. He doesn't need to be that far back. He's on the back up to 1,400. He ran home in 21.92 his final 400 at 107% efficiency. So look, that race was a crawl on a dash home, the top left. The bottom right, actually they're both Sterling Wongchoi. It's just a head-on vision of where he came home. But the other one was Reward Smile. But this was an interesting run from Sterling Wongchoi, and he's going to be on the backup. It's a good recipe, I think, for horses that's had a run under the belt. Now, Reward Smile's the other one off a fast speed. This is an incredibly impressive performance from him. He absolutely motored home. Fastest last 200, 11.53, off a very good lead speed. So Reward Smile, if he can draw a gate, I think he'll be one to be following quite strongly when he steps out.
We need to keep a little look at those sectional stars, a little file amongst your incredible website on HUTCHI'S Honkers, which everyone should jump on. Your analysis of horse by horse is absolutely elite, and you can build a beautiful pro forma coming in.
Yeah, we're going to start to put out a little bit more what we have on the side.
You're going to highlight a bit more of that. Just start giving us a little more of your golden juice, if you don't mind. Now, a very special part of the program. It's idle time. Racing's highest individual honour is the time-honoured idol, where the Golden Boy, the Hall of Famer, gives votes for and against for the gun rides throughout the week of racing in Hong Kong. And Shane, let's start with the positive. Where do we go?
I think Jerry on Wednesday night on Super Fun and Joy, I think it was.
Super Joy and Fun.
Joy and Fun, I should say. Here he is in the yellow. He comes out. He's 3 deep. There was a lot of pace in this race, and this horse can lead, but he didn't keep forcing when they went. He gave him a break, and he's 3 deep here, but he's not panicking. And then you'll see up here, he just pops in once he has a look, and he realises he can squat in here without the fence. It was well done. He ended up in the perfect posse, where it could have been really bad if he had kept forcing the horse early forward. And then he doesn't panic on the horse. He brings him into the race at the right time. He doesn't pull him out and circle him at the 600. He keeps a bit of cover. And you'll see here, he doesn't go round them. He waits for as long as possible. And when he comes out, this horse was never going to get beat, Clint. He was very impressive when he couldn't.
He trialled really well leading into it. He got a lovely trip around. There was good speed in the race. I think HKIR was a play for us. He pulled up. I think there might have been a little problem with him, but I think it was probably more so the tempo. Lucky Archangel out wide was great. But Jerry Chow, Jerry generally does ride a bit like this, Shane, doesn't he? He's happy. He's not overly aggressive early. He'd rather come back a half a length or a length than sort of be positive early. And that is how he executed that ride. And in this instance, it was an absolute beauty.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good on him.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm learning a lot from the Golden Boy, because I was watching that and very close to about to text him and go, I thought I just saw a gun ride there, and I thought, hang on, I won't get into his areas. But by G, you've taught me a lot, mate. That was absolutely outstanding. I love how he went forward, put himself in the calculation, and then just eased over the back.
Drop the hands.
Absolutely perfect. So no doubt he'll get votes. Shane, who got it wrong?
Well, this was Vincent on Family Jewel. Look, boys, you got to think where you are in a race. Like the favourite and the horse to beat, there weren't many chances in this race, is the horse in the blue up above, just in front of him, and he's going to go to the fence. Vincent should have just come back and follow him. If he follows him, he wins the race for sure, right? He cannot get beat. He probably wins by 3 lengths. But he elected to go forward, stay off the fence, and when a horse is on a fence, they're relaxed more. When the one off the fence, they can pull a bit, and he gets pulling. But he's following a horse who was 100 to 1 and got no chance, and that's what's cost him the race. If you watch the yellow horse inside of Family Jewel there, watch the run he gets. He gets the best run of all time. Now Vincent's coming back, losing a spot because the other horse is going nowhere. And if you're going to stay off the fence, right, make sure you get a run. I've got to blame you for that. If you stay on the fence and don't get a run, I never blame you. But if you want to stay off the fence and don't get a run, that's your fault. Now have a look where the yellow horse is. There's 2 runs in front of him. He could have come to the outside or he could have gone. If that's Family Jewel, he wins by 2 or 3 lengths. Instead, he's back here behind this horse who's 100 to 1, and he can't get out. And he would have won easy, Family Jewel. There's no risk.
I like that from Shane. Yeah. And, for our viewers as well, just take note, Family Jewel is running on the weekend as well in race number 1, another one on the backup.
Oh, my God, he was unlucky.
It's a matter of knowing your horses and say, right, I'm just going to follow you. You're the one to beat in the race, and wherever you go, I'll get over top of you.
So Shane, what do you think? Do you think that in that instance, and a lot of riders do this as well, do you think he's thinking, I want to park one off because it's going to give me more options to get out and get going when I can? Not that he got them in this instance because the pace was slow.
So was he just unlucky?
Well, he was unlucky. There's no doubt about that. But if you're going to stay off the fence when you can follow the favourite on the fence, I blame the jock. Right. I say, yes, he was unlucky. You've got an opportunity to fight. I keep bringing this up for years, for 3 years or 2 years we've been doing it. When you have an opportunity to follow the favourite, the horse to beat, you follow it.
So that's paramount. I mean, he has been consistent, Shane.
When you're on the second chance.
And when you see what happened late in that race with the horse that did take that position and the run that it was presented, well, it's hard to argue, Richo.
That's right. Poor Vincent would have been just saying...
But see, Richo, I'm watching that race. This isn't after the race. I back Family Jewel.
Yeah.
So I'm watching the race, and after 100 metres, I'm going, go to the fence, right? So it's not me doing replays after the race. It's actually watching the race and knowing that was a huge mistake to be following that. After 200 metres, I'm going, oh, no, what are you doing following that horse?
Yeah, fair call.
So does Vincent get negative votes, or how did you assess it for your votes?
I can understand what he was doing. He went out there, tried to do the right thing by the horse and him and give it a chance, put it one off and ride it a bit closer. So, no, it wasn't a quarter or
Shane's giving him a mulligan, basically.
He's giving him a mulligan. Yeah, which is okay.
I would have been tempted to give him the -1. After what Shane explained, though, he should have given him the -.
So, Zach, the defending champ, gets through.
Yeah, I thought Zach rode extremely well. He was definitely 100% a different rider the first meeting this year to early on last season. Last season, he wasn't fit. If you watch and put replays on of last season, his seat on a horse, how strong he wasn't there. This meeting here, he was so there and he was so focused and he rode so well. Zach gets 3. Now, I said the other day, Zach will get to the 78 winners of.
Yep. You said February?
Maybe February, maybe the month after, April. Whatever it was, it's 1 month sooner. He'll get there easy by February now because his fitness is there on what I've seen on 2 days, and he looks so good. He's focused. He's different.
Young Lukey Ferraris, a couple of nicely rated rides out in front as well, Shane.
Yeah, well, he doesn't get many opportunities. He rated them well. They won. I thought Lyle Houston on Amazing Run was very, very good. He gave it a very good ride back last 3 wide. And Makybe Diva started the week very, very well. 3 winners. He doesn't get a lot of opportunities, so he gets a couple of points. He did nothing wrong.
Okay, so the first votes are in for the time-honoured idol. Let's spend some time with Nicole Purton.
David Eustace is the newest addition to the training ranks, and I'm keen to catch up with him to find out how he's preparing for this exciting opportunity. Dave, how are you enjoying your time in Hong Kong?
I'm good. I'm really well. Really enjoying it. It's been 4 months now. Stable setup's been quite good. Really happy with the horses I've got. Support's been great, and it was sort of quiet summer. Everyone sort of cleared out, and I was the only one left. But it meant that I could really get stuck into the systems and get to know the horses and the staff. So no, so far so good.
And what advice were you given before coming to Hong Kong?
When everyone sort of finished at the end of the season, the main thing was everyone said get out of the heat, but that was pretty difficult. It's a very, very hot summer, but I got used to that, and so did the horses. So I think probably the main thing that everyone has remarked is, it is hot and it takes time to acclimatise for the horses and to not, do too much for them in the morning. So I've certainly done that. And very much taking my time with them.
And have you found anything challenging in your time so far?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, obviously the biggest challenge was I was handed a barn and it had 0 horses in, so that's enough motivation to get your head down. And yeah, of course that was a challenge. It's, you've got to put yourself out there as much as you possibly can, which I did. I met a lot of people. A lot of people have been extremely helpful as well, trainers, jockeys, owners and the like. So I'm happy with the way it's shaping up.
How do you think training in Hong Kong will be different to training in Australia?
It's sort of very different, and then a lot of similarities as well. I mean, you train on a track, which ultimately I'm used to doing, but it's busier here. I think you've got to really focus on the horse being relaxed, controlled, and not doing too much. If they do too much in the heat, tracks, at times can be very wet or quick. So you've got to be very mindful of that. So I think just having them nice and controlled and having a good relationship and communication with your riders has been key. So I'm very lucky. I've got great riders who thankfully listen as well. So so far so good.
Is there a horse in your stable that you're excited about?
I've got a couple. A horse came from England called Cool Dividend. He's K81 from the UK, who Zach saw on the first morning and texted me straight away and said, can I ride that when he galloped? So I think that's a good sign. He's a nice horse. He's travelled over really well. And so I've got a horse called Young Emperor for the Racing Club. He's had 3 starts, won a handicap at the HKIR, quite impressively. Really nice, strong forward horse, acclimatised well. So, they're quite a long way down the track. Of the horses that I race early, I've got a couple trialling tonight. Swift Ascend will be, one of my first runners, and I think is going really well. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, great work by Nicole Purton. Dave Eustace is a star trainer. He will make a great success, an even better human being. So we wish him all the very best. He mentioned a few international runners there. Let's talk global racing. Global racing, courtesy of the World Pool. The eyes are on Flemington and also over in Ireland. 3 big races from a World Pool scenario. The Let's Elope Stakes for the mares, the Group 1 Makybe Diva, and of course the Bobby Lewis Group 2 level for the sprinters. With the Let's Elope, we've got this quality New Zealand mare called Quintessa, who was fantastic first up. She's a Group 1 star in New Zealand and really making a nice go of it in Australia.
Yeah, look, I'm going to go with her over Vibrant Sun, Wollombi and Running By. They bring different form lines, a few of them. But, Rich, I know that you're giving Wollombi a great chance to turn the tables.
Well, when you look at this replay of Quintessa, Wollombi is the horse in the green and white colours with the black cap stuck on the rail with nowhere to go. And I'm convinced that she had a terrific sprint. Now, a little cut in the ground won't harm her whatsoever. And I think at $8 or $9, I think she's good each way.
Yeah, she could well be. I mean, the thing is with Quintessa, she sort of keeps being underrated. She was $11 or $12 there, carried weight, she'll be fitter. But it's a good race, and I think a lot will get down to who gets the luck in running.
And Grinzinger Bell is a nice little roughie in the race. Shane, have you cast your eye over Flemington?
Boys, you're a better judge than me at this. I haven't put enough work into it. I know the main race, but not this race as much. It looks a pretty open race to me, just going through it.
The other interesting runner, Blake Shin, very popular with obviously Hong Kong punters, very popular with Aussie punters actually with his success, and he rides a really interesting runner, Al Safina there from WA as well. She might be another one you could throw into your exotics.
And the wind is going to be really important. We're expecting a very significant wind at Flemington, which will suit those on speed. And a horse like Grinzinger Bell at a big price might be the one that leads.
One quick thing, Quinlan. Blake's riding really well. I've been watching a bit of Aussie races and he's riding extremely well, Blake.
Yeah, no doubting that. And great example of it in the last race at Moonee Valley on Saturday when he got up on the inside of Miss Aria. The Group 1 Makybe Diva Stakes. It's been a Group 1 since 2013. Who do you got on top?
Oh, look, Via Sustain, she tips herself really, but I think there is an opportunity for a Quinella, and particularly there could be some value around a tissue. I think Mr. Brightside looks the main danger. I'm not sure where we're at with Pride of Jenny. I mean, she doesn't run well fresh, but she was too well beaten first up. And this is what I'm talking about. So they're only halfway down the straight. She threw up the white flag pretty quick. I appreciate she's not a fresh horse, but Pinstripe managed to get the better of her here. And what did you make of it?
Yeah, well, she's a real concern. I mean, one way or the other, she comes out and she always races really well second up. So she could improve out of the ground, or if she runs like that again, that might be the last we see of her.
And Via Sustina wasn't really fancied here, fought, over an unsuitable trip. The knock is 2 slow races, but they're over distances where Via Sustina shouldn't be competitive. And if she can, dash home better than some of our premier gallopers like Fun Girl, who knows what she's capable of when she does step up in trips. So she has to be favourite. Chris Waller, J-Mac, they've got a great opportunity here.
James McDonald on 98 Group 1, Shane. He's getting close to that century. He's in a little battle with his mate Opie Bosson.
Oh, well, the sooner he gets there and goes over and gets to Damien's, the sooner he'll be in Hong Kong riding. Simple as that. So you want him to ride 20 or 30 so he gets to Hong Kong and leaves Australia. So it's only time before he leaves.
He's the best in the world at the moment.
I've got Viva Sustina on top by a long way. I think it wins. It was very impressive the other day. She's definitely the best horse in the race.
I totally agree with that. I think she's the best horse if Pride of Jenny's not standing up. The guy that's Mr. Reliable, though, is Mr. Brightside.
Yeah.
He's the guy, there's a few questions on others, but he's the guy that you know what you're going to get. I mean, he's just a great place bet.
He'll be fitter second up. He'll be a good Quinella option for a few, I would imagine. The knock is Pinstripe, who's pretty well exposed, did beat him as well. So do we trust all that form?
Well, Pinstripe was second up, though, whereas Mr. Brightside was first up. He's an absolute bomb second up.
Yeah,
so
and likes
I think
Flemington.
He'll derive a lot of benefit from it. The Whirlpool sponsors the Bobby Lewis, which is a terrific sprint down that famous straight at Flemington. Who have you got on top?
Look, I think this is a really good race to, if you're playing in the big pools, have something on Sans Doute each way. She is fantastic. She was terrific against Mornington Glory, who came out and won a Group 1. And I think there's a Group 1 in Sans Doute in the next 12 months. And I think the value will be in some of these Quinella plays and maybe even the tiers, the likes of, you've got Right to Party, Stratton Angel, and Arkansas Kid for the Hayes Boys. Those are the 3. Sans Doute on this occasion, Tiaco colours, that's the tangerine out the back, half missed the kick. Now, in front of her is Mornington Glory. This mare has an unbelievable turn of foot. And like I said, Shane, just take into account that Mornington Glory came out of this race and managed to win. And her effort, Sans Doute, there in defeat was fantastic. And she's also performed down the straight.
It's another Kiwi, is it?
Yes, it is.
Oh, right. Okay.
I think I've got a feeling, you know what? Hey, Shane, I reckon Kaying Rising might be a Kiwi too.
Of course it is.
Oh, gosh.
Mate,
We're never going to hear the end of this.
Tell you what.
I didn't even know that, boys. What about the 4 in the race, Clint?
Buenos Noches, talented horse.
Oh.
You just don't always see the
straight.
best of him. Yeah, but Shane, I spoke about one earlier, like the air that can sleep with a load on. This is his half-brother, Buenos Noches. He's very talented, more than capable, but you've got to start being more consistent at that level.
Well, the thing is, he's been tested at Group 1 level. Now back at Group 2 level, Shane's point might be valid. He might be the one that's able to step up. For mine, it's Right to Party. A mare in form, a mare that's loving Flemington straight races. And we've seen this in recent years. Horses just continue to win down the straight. She's so happy. They keep her fresh. I think she'll run really well, and Spacewalk might be one at
tough. It's
massive.
I'll say this:
price.
it's almost like a Group 1, the Bobby Lewis.
It's a beauty.
It's a real good race. Yeah.
Whirlpool Racing also over in Ireland as well. Now, a couple of Group 1s on Irish Champion Stakes Day, including the Irish Champion Stakes with Economics with William Haggis and Tom Marquand will be hard to beat. Up against Auguste Rodin, who can be hard to catch. For mine, Los Angeles could be over the odds, the Great Voltage winner. The Matron Stakes, it'll be a battle for the O'Briens. Porta Fortuna, trained by Donica O'Brien, up against Dad and also Brother with Rogue Millennium at a big price. That'll be interesting. And then we roll over to the Sunday. So there is 4 Group 1s. The Flying 5 Stakes, where Bransell, the Nunthorpe winner, will be hard to beat. The Moyglare, where the unbeaten Aidan O'Brien bedtime story. The National, with the unbeaten Aidan O'Brien Henri Matisse. And then the St Ledger, with the superstar Kyprios for Aidan O'Brien as well. What a day.
It's an absolute feast of racing this weekend. So you got a couple of nice selections there. It's a big day. It's a big day.
Richo, does City of Troy run at all?
Not this weekend. Not this weekend in Ireland. Not in the Whirlpool, my friend. What a star he is, City of Troy.
Yeah.
Absolute rock star.
I didn't realise as well, City of Troy, I think, is related to Unbelievable, who races in Hong Kong. I think they're very closely related, the horse that ran in the Derby.
Don't tell me they're from New Zealand.
You know what? They're not from New Zealand.
Finally, one that's not from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Our best bets now on the other side.
Parents Lovers keen to roll, and he's gone clear by 4 lengths up the hill. And they're ready. Racing in the mile, and he jumped well, Golden 60. 3 wide, Den on the Kid is giving Golden 60 a beautiful card into the race. 500 metres to go in the mile. Tribalist is the leader over Cairo, Den on the Kid. Golden 60 called upon now. The great horse to the outside, and he went whooshka. It is Golden 60 taking over. Chartin is electric. He's 3 on Beauty Eternal. That's not a whip. That's a wand. That ride from Vincent is magic. Golden 60.
What a moment in world racing, and the news has been confirmed that the mighty Golden 60 has been retired. So it makes us straight away think, when we consider jump and run, where do you rate Golden 60 in regards to the greatest horses we've seen in Hong Kong?
Yeah, he's the best.
Give me a top 3.
Top 3. Well, he'd be number 1.
Yep.
I think that number 2 is a current horse in Romantic Warrior, to be honest. I mean, the fact that he never travelled anywhere Golden 60, but he was too good for Romantic Warrior when they clashed, and his performances over the mile devastating. They couldn't go with him. He was a bit like Winks in the fact that his turn of foot was just too good, and he was tough. He wanted to win, and we've heard that from Vincent, so we'll have to catch up with Vincent soon. So that'll be Golden 61, Romantic Warrior 2, and then probably a toss-up between Silent Witness or Sacred Kingdom. I preferred Sacred Kingdom.
Shane, what do you think?
Silent Witness is the best.
Really?
As a sprinter, I wouldn't even say Black Caviar would beat him. He was a superstar. What he did early on, I've never seen a horse do. He won 17 straight. The day he got beat, he should have won over a mile. He could have done anything, and he did do anything. I've got him from Golden 60, who's one of my favourites. Look, how do you compare a sprinter to a miler?
Yeah.
It's very difficult. So, I've got them both on top. Romantic Warrior is outstanding. What he's done internationally for Hong Kong has been a credit and amazing. But you've got to remember that every time Romantic Warrior ran against Golden 60, who won?
Yeah. It's a great point.
Fair and square every time.
Yeah, they beat him there, but Romantic would say, well, come on a trip with me and we'll see who ends up on top.
Let's get over 2,000 metres and then some. Then we'll talk about Golden 60. Congratulations, everyone involved. And we love Vincent. He's been so kind to us on the show. They've got so much to be proud of how they guided their careers and everything they did. And Hong Kong Jockey Club, it's time that we have a Hall of Fame because we want horses like him in the Hall of Fame where we can celebrate all the deeds of the great performances. Hey, we're going to give away our a most important prize, and that is a trip with us and a place on this unbelievable tour. How do they do it?
Scan the code, get involved. All the links are right there, and tag at HUTCHI'S Honkers. Let us know your favourite episode. Follow all those prompts. Get involved. It's a trip of a lifetime. We've got a spot there ready for you to go.
What a prize that is. That's an absolute beauty. All right, let's find our very best bets for the weekend. Best bets time. Hutch, lead us away.
Yeah, it's a good meeting. It's a competitive meeting. I think there'll be a fair bit of value around, so make sure you get involved. My best, Magic Control, formerly Archo Nacho, so let's hope he can win it. I think there will be some value in that race in some of the exotics, the Quinellas as well, so he might be short, but we can find some value elsewhere. My next best will be Pack and Bowl. I think there is a Quinella option in that race with a couple that Shane has already pointed out. One of them is also Capital Legend. We've got Self-Improvement in there, along with Super Wind Dragon. So I think those are the main two plays for the weekend.
Okay. Golden Boy, you started in style last week.
Yeah, 2 out of 2. They both won. So this week we'll go race 1, Family Jewel should win for sure. Won't be any odds though. And race 2, Ho Ho Star. I backed this last week and it went really well. Goes to 1,400, but he runs 1,400 even though he ran nowhere last year. The only problem he could have is if Zach digs him out of the gates. If he digs him out of the gates, he won't win because after 100 metres he pulls quite hard. So if he can get him in his rhythm, he should. He's got a good chance.
Tell you that.
Love the work of that.
We've got the full page up here to take a look at. For those who want to take a screenshot, write them all down. I'll say this as well with regard to Shane's selections. Those horses that usually in September that you can follow that have had a run, they've had that run under the belt. They prove very hard to beat, and those are sort of ones that are reasonably out there, and like Shane said, will be well fancied. But you got to stick with even the ones that haven't run that well so well first up.
I totally agree. Hey, also, HUTCHI'S Honkers is simply the website to be involved. The profit on turnover is absolutely outstanding. So a nice start on Sunday, a little correction on Wednesday, as we can do.
Sort of a score draw if it was
ready to launch.
If it was first innings, the game's up for grabs.
Mate, you will score a big triple century. There's no doubting that. Golden Boy, always a pleasure, my friend. Looking forward to Sunday.
I hope it was like last Sunday. I know that. It was a huge day. I just don't want to see another Wednesday like last Wednesday.
Don't worry about Wednesday. Let's concentrate on Sunday. And race number 1, you're going to start again with the best bet if you don't mind.
Yeah, that is it. Looking forward to it. So good luck on the weekend.
I hope you enjoyed the show. See you next week.